Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see right here, just finished this. Making a paneer today, some cheese, Indian style, beautiful curry. Slightly unorthodox way I'm going to do it today. I'm going to blend everything together. It's a really fast way of doing it actually. Works great with any curry actually. So that's it. Tastes great. I love that. Let's go and cook it. Okay, let's take a look at some of the ingredients we're going to be using today. In the centre I've got my paneer, or my cheese. Now you can buy that frozen in most stores these days, or if you're lucky you can get it fresh. Either way works really well. I've got some onions on this side and some fresh tomatoes on this side. Then below that I've got some cilantro or fresh coriander and some mint, fresh mint there. If you can't get both, maybe one of them could work. Then I've got some spices. Here we go. Equal parts here. I've got 4 spices here. I always call them the big 4. So equal parts here of chili powder. I'm using the Kashmiri chili powder today, but you can use whichever you like. Here I've got some coriander powder. Here I've got cumin powder, and here I've got some turmeric or haldi. If you don't have these, you can just use, a regular mixed curry powder that you get from your store, or you may have in your house anyway. I just find that a little bit better. Here I've got some garlic and ginger chopped. We're going to mince all that. I'm going to show you that in our machine in a little bit. Here I've got fresh chilli. Today I've got a Scotch bonnet. This is really, really hot. So I won't be adding any dried chilli or anything like that, which I would normally do in our garam masala. So yeah, this is a real fire one. Totally optional where you go with this. This is going to be, like I say, really fiery. You might want to use some green chilies or some red chilies, a small kind of longer ones. I've got a touch of oil there. Here I've got a little bit of methi or fenugreek leaf, it's dried. And then our garam masala, our whole stuff. So I've got a bit of bay leaf in there. I mean, you can't see this all just yet because it's all mixed, but I've got some coriander seeds, green cardamom, black mustard seeds, a few fennel seeds, and a bit of cumin seed, I think. But again, garam masala, go for whatever you want. There's loads and loads of things you could add. You could add dried chili to that. You could, it's just endless. The list is endless. Some cloves, some black cardamom. The combinations, like I say, are enormous. Really quite simple. I'm going to sort of be blending stuff up today in this machine to kind of puree it. I want it kind of nice and kind of thin. So the onions and the tomatoes are going to get pureed up, as well as the garlic, ginger and the chili and so on. Quite a quick method. Let's get on with it. Okay, so I've put in here my onions, my garlic, and my fresh ginger. Just going to give them a little whiz up. Back in a moment. There you go. Just going to mince that down nicely. Now I'm going to just empty that out, and we're going to move on to the tomatoes and the other stuff. Okay, I've just emptied that out. As you can see, there's a little bit of residue of the onions and garlic in there. I'm not bothered about that at all. It's going to go into this mix anyway, so I'm quite happy. So tomatoes in. Now at this point, this is where it gets kind of quite quick. I'm going to pop in that little bit of fenugreek or methi, and then the spices. So add your curry powder now, whichever you're going to use. I'm using here, I've got my chili, coriander, turmeric and my cumin. I'm now going to add my fresh chili in there. I'm going to add this mint. I'm going to add this cilantro. And a touch of oil in there. So the only thing that's a difference is I'm not putting this in, obviously. This is our whole garam masala and our paneer, but the rest of this is all going in straight away now, and we're going to give that a whiz. There we go. So we've now got a lovely paste ready to go. Like I say, pretty instant this is. Let's move on. Okay, just to recap everything, so we've now got our paneer, or our cheese in the centre, our whole garam masala, our minced onions and garlic and ginger, and our tomatoes with our spices and our fresh herbs and chili already in there. Let's get to the cooker. Okay, so I've got myself a pot here, as you can see. Now I've got a little touch of oil in there, and I've added some butter. Optional. If you don't want to add the butter, no problem really. But I like it in there. So as that warms up, we're going to cook our whole garam masala. So a bit of bay leaf. I'll try and call these out as they go in. So there we go. Let's have a look. So green cardamom, I can see. Black mustard seeds, fennel seeds, a few coriander seeds, and a few cumin seeds. That's exactly what I'm using today. Like I said, combinations for this go on and on and on. So add whatever you like. So we need to cook these in our oil and butter mixture. They'll infuse that oil. So this is a really important stage. They're going to pop and crackle in a minute, depending on which ones you've used. But this is going to give us a real beautiful start to this curry. So let's just do that for a couple of minutes. Well, not even a couple of minutes, a few seconds actually. There you go, I can smell them roasting away in there, or frying. And at this stage I'm now going to go in with our minced onions with that garlic and the ginger. So I'm on a kind of a medium type heat. Let's cook this for about just like 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Keep stirring it all the time. Lovely smell this, I mean really love this, I do. That's coming on beautifully. Now I'm going to go in with our pureed tomatoes with all our spices in. In they go. Just have a little mix. If you don't want to do the puree method that I've done, no problem, you can just cut your onions really small and chop your tomatoes really small. This is pretty instant. I mean, you get a few little lumps in there or whatever you want. I'm not bothered about that. But this does make it kind of really nice and smooth and quite quick. I mean, this is just pretty much an instant curry. I mean, you can add chicken to this or shrimps or whatever you want to, and add some vegetables, I suppose. So again, let's now cook this, stirring often, about 5 or 6 minutes. There we go. This is kind of reduced a little bit and kind of thickened up. It's cooking really beautifully. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of salt, which I didn't do earlier. So some salt to taste for you guys, however you like. Then I'm going to add our paneer. Now, some people will fry the paneer first. You can fry it in butter or in oil and then set it aside. Some people just put it straight in like I'm doing. And again, let's now cook this on a kind of fairly low heat for about 5 more minutes. Okay, I've turned the heat off. That is it. Really kind of quick method, not maybe the most sort of orthodox method of making this, but you know, a really quick way of making a masala, and that paneer is going to be beautifully soft in there. Lovely with some rice or with some roti or chapati, however you like. I hope that's helped. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Check out the Facebook and all that, and the website. There's loads of stuff going on there. Lots of love. See you later.